The Galactic Council was a symphony of chaos. Representatives from countless species filled the grand chamber, each speaking in a cacophony of panic and accusation. The air was tense, laced with the unmistakable undercurrent of fear. The Zorathian ambassador, a towering figure with crystalline skin that refracted light like a prism, leaned forward with an accusatory glare. "You dare speak of neutrality," he snarled, his voice like cracking glass, "when the Velkara Empire has seized 3 of our colonies and massacred millions?" Across the table, the Velkara representative, a reptilian being with scales that shimmered in metallic hues, hissed in response. "The Zorathians cry foul while their spies sabotage our energy grids and assassinate our leaders. This war is their doing." Smaller, less powerful species sat on the periphery, their voices drowned out by the titanic clash of accusations. Among them, a diminutive amphibian-like diplomat croaked, "We cannot afford to be caught in your war. Our planets lie on the borders of your conflict zones. We demand guarantees of safety." Their plea was ignored. The focus remained on the warring factions, each determined to gain the Council's favor, or at least its indifference to their actions. Amid the discord, an elder figure rose. The being was ancient, with translucent skin that shimmered faintly in the chamber's artificial light. Silence fell as they spoke, their voice calm but laden with foreboding. "You speak of war as if it is a game of strategy, but I warn you all, drag Earth into this and you will unleash a force none of you can control." The room erupted into murmurs. Earth, a planet barely acknowledged in galactic politics. Primitive, isolated, seemingly insignificant. Yet the elder's words carried weight. "Earth?" The Velkara ambassador's voice dripped with disdain. "The insignificant rock populated by savages? What could they possibly do?" The elder's gaze fixed on them. "You call them savages because you have not faced them. But the Archalians did." At the mention of the Archalians, the chamber grew deathly quiet. The Archalian Empire had once been the greatest power in the galaxy, dominating vast territories with their unparalleled technology and military might. And yet they were no more. "What happened to the Archalians?" a younger diplomat asked hesitantly. The elder's eyes narrowed, their translucent visage taking on a ghostly glow. "They underestimated Earth. They thought them weak, a backwater planet ripe for conquest. They were wrong. Humanity did not just defeat them. They dismantled their fleets, turned their technology against them, and shattered their empire. The Archalians are a cautionary tale, one you would do well to heed." The Zorathian ambassador, though skeptical, leaned back thoughtfully. "If this is true, then Earth should be left alone. Let them remain isolated." But the Velkara ambassador scoffed. "Legends and myths. Nothing more." The elder's voice grew firmer, cutting through the ambassador's dismissal. "Do you think the galaxy has forgotten the lessons of Earth? Ignore them at your peril." The tension in the room reached its peak. All eyes turned to the galactic map, where a small, unassuming blue dot glowed faintly, Earth. Centuries ago, long before the Velkara and Zorathians became the dominant forces in the galaxy, the Archalian Empire reigned supreme. Their fleets were unmatched, their technology so advanced it was indistinguishable from magic to lesser civilizations. When their explorers stumbled upon Earth, a planet teeming with life and untapped resources, they deemed it an easy target. The first Archalian fleet arrived in orbit with overwhelming confidence. They issued their standard ultimatum: surrender and be integrated into the Empire, or resist and face annihilation. Humanity, still divided into nations and unfamiliar with the wider galaxy, responded with a mixture of fear and outrage. The Archalians expected chaos and submission. What they received instead was war. The historian's voice carried weight as they recounted the events. The Archalians believed their superior firepower would crush any resistance, but they failed to account for humanity's capacity to adapt. Humanity fought back in ways the Archalians had never encountered. They hacked into Archalian systems using what the invaders considered primitive technology. The humans weaponized their satellites, using them to blind and disable Archalian reconnaissance. Cities were evacuated and turned into traps, drawing Archalian troops into ambushes. Guerrilla tactics, unpredictable and ruthless, crippled the Archalian ground forces. The turning point came when humanity reverse-engineered captured Archalian tech. It was a desperate gamble, but within months they were deploying weapons that rivaled their invaders. A network of resistance groups coordinated attacks across continents, striking with precision and ferocity. Each defeat the Archalians suffered eroded their confidence, and whispers began to spread among their ranks. Earth was not like the other worlds they had conquered. Their fleet was invincible, the historian continued, but their will was not. Humanity broke them, not through brute strength, but through sheer ingenuity, relentless determination, and an almost terrifying disregard for self-preservation. One by one, Archalian ships fell. Some were disabled by human-devised electromagnetic pulses, others were obliterated by missiles launched from hidden bases. In one daring maneuver, a coalition of human pilots commandeered an Archalian cruiser and crashed it into the Empire's flagship. The psychological impact was devastating. Survivors of the invasion spoke of nightmares. They were relentless, one Archalian commander had reportedly said. They didn't fight like soldiers, they fought like predators protecting their den. The aftermath of the conflict reshaped the galaxy. The Archalian Empire, humiliated and weakened, lost its grip on power. Within decades, it fragmented and dissolved, its legacy reduced to cautionary tales. And Earth? They vanished from the galactic stage as quickly as they had entered it. The historian paused, their voice somber yet reverent. Humanity never sought conquest, never asked for recognition. They returned to their planet, rebuilt in silence, and left the galaxy to its games. But the lesson remains: disturb them, and you awaken something the galaxy is not prepared to face. In the silence that followed, an unspoken question lingered in the minds of all present. What would humanity do if provoked again? The Velkara Empire's War Council convened in their flagship's command chamber, its walls adorned with trophies from countless conquered worlds. The debate was heated. Some believed Earth to be irrelevant, a minor distraction in the larger war with the Zorathians. Others, more ambitious, saw it as an untapped resource and a perfect staging ground for future operations. This planet, one general declared, gesturing to a hologram of Earth, is rich in minerals and sits at a critical juncture in hyperspace lanes. If we seize it, we can outflank the Zorathians and secure a strategic advantage. The Emperor himself, a figure of towering authority, leaned forward. His voice was cold and dismissive. The legends surrounding Earth are just that, legends. A defeated Archalian empire blamed their incompetence on mythical human savagery. We are not the Archalians. We are the Velkara. Their confidence was absolute, their arrogance unshakable. Orders were given to deploy an expeditionary force to Earth, a fleet that would demonstrate the might of the Velkara Empire. It was decided, Earth would either bow or burn. Meanwhile, in Zorathian territory, desperation fueled their decisions. The war was not going well and their resources were stretched thin. A secret meeting was held in one of their last fortified strongholds. The Zorathian leadership, wary of direct conflict with the Velkara fleet, decided to approach Earth diplomatically. Humanity is resourceful, argued their chief strategist. If the stories are true, they could be the key to turning this war in our favor. Offer them technology, power, whatever they desire. Make them allies before the Velkara can act. With both superpowers resolved, emissaries were dispatched to Earth. The Velkara arrived with bluster and threats, demanding humanity's immediate submission. They spoke of annihilation, of Earth's inevitable fall should they resist. Their arrogance left no room for negotiation. The Zorathians, by contrast, approached with honeyed words and grand promises. They painted the Velkara as a mutual enemy, offering humanity access to the galactic community in exchange for their support. They promised to share advanced technology, to elevate Earth beyond its current status as an isolated backwater. But Earth's leaders were neither intimidated by threats nor swayed by promises. Their response to both emissaries was unsettlingly calm. Officially, they refused to take sides, insisting on neutrality. Privately, they gave no indication of their true intentions. Reports began trickling in from both Velkara and Zorathian scouts. Strange movements were detected near Earth. Unmarked vessels appeared on the edges of the solar system, only to vanish before they could be identified. Communication satellites went dark without explanation. Probes sent to study Earth failed to return. A Velkara commander, frustrated by the lack of progress, sent a small scout ship into Earth's orbit. It disappeared without a trace. Hours later, a garbled transmission was intercepted. Static, fragmented voices, and a chilling phrase repeated over and over, "Leave." The Zorathians and Velkara dismissed these incidents as human posturing. But within their ranks, unease began to grow. The calm before the storm was far too quiet. The Velkara fleet entered Earth's orbit with precision and overwhelming numbers. Battlecruisers, frigates, and carriers filled the skies, their sheer size and power casting long shadows over the planet below. Velkara commanders watched with smug satisfaction as they deployed drones to map the surface and prepare for what they considered a routine conquest. Earth was silent. No ships launched, no defenses activated. "This will be over quickly," one commander remarked, confident in their superiority. But as they waited for Earth's response, systems across the fleet began to malfunction. At first it was minor, delays in communications, brief glitches in targeting arrays. Then in unison, their entire fleet's navigational systems went offline. Lights flickered, weapon systems powered down, and panic began to spread among the Velkara crews. Before the commanders could issue new orders, Earth responded, not with words but with action. Hidden orbital platforms, camouflaged to appear as debris, activated. They unleashed electromagnetic pulses that rippled through the Velkara fleet, frying unshielded systems. Ships collided in the confusion, and their drones spiraled uselessly into the void. From the dark side of the moon, massive human-built starships emerged, sleek and angular, their designs eerily efficient and devoid of the aesthetic flair common in alien fleets. These were not vessels of exploration or diplomacy. They were built for war. The first human volley was precise and devastating. Kinetic projectiles launched at near-light speed tore through Velkara ships as if they were paper. Missiles equipped with adaptive targeting systems sought out weakened points in the alien fleet, exploiting vulnerabilities with brutal efficiency. Velkara commanders scrambled to regain control, issuing frantic orders to regroup and retaliate. But humanity didn't fight like the galactic powers. They didn't rely on predictable formations or rigid strategies. Instead, they deployed decoys and drones, created false signals to mislead the Velkara, and used hit-and-run tactics to sow chaos. The Velkara's advanced technology, once their greatest strength, became their downfall. Human hackers, operating from hidden ground-based facilities, breached their firewalls and turned their own systems against them. A Velkara cruiser abruptly redirected its fire onto its allies, causing massive friendly fire damage. Entire squadrons of fighters were left stranded, their command signals hijacked. The Zorathians, monitoring the battle from a distance, were stunned. They had expected humanity to hold their ground, perhaps inflict minor damage. They had not anticipated this level of overwhelming dominance. As the Velkara fleet crumbled, humanity broadcast a single message on all frequencies. The voice was calm but carried an undeniable weight. "You were warned. Leave Earth. Do not return." The surviving Velkara ships fled, their commanders too shaken to contemplate further action. The Zorathians, though tempted to make contact, decided against it. Humanity had proven itself not just as a force to be reckoned with, but as something altogether more dangerous, a species that thrived when pushed to the brink. Back in the Galactic Council, the aftermath of the battle sent shockwaves through the chamber. No one dared speak of involving Earth again. And yet, as the Council dispersed, a lingering question remained in their minds. If humanity could do this with their home at stake, what might they be capable of if they ever chose to leave it?